Hello and welcome to the Federal. We have with us Dr. Vinay Sahasrabuddhe, the ex-president of Indian Council for Cultural Relations and a senior BJP leader. And we will be talking about the recent diplomatic problems between India and the Maldives. So my first question to you is, the recent statements by the lawmakers of Maldives has created a rift between the two governments. How big a setback is it for both the countries?
Well, certainly, the government of Maldives also has admitted and tried to rectify the mistakes that were committed by the ministers in the cabinet of the country. And therefore, the seriousness of the whole thing, I believe, is appreciated not just by the Indian government or our Ministry of External Affairs, but more importantly, the Maldives government as well. And therefore, such irresponsible comments, unnecessary comments, comments which do not behove of a minister of a country, I think certainly have the potential of damaging the relations. And that realization, happily, has dawned where it should have, where it must have dawned, must have to be dawned.
True, true. Sir, it has been a few days since the statements were made. When you look back, what could be the possible reason for making those statements? Or what was the need to make those statements?
Well, it's very unfortunate. That is the only thing I can say about it. I don't see any logical reason for making such statements. And therefore, I just cannot decipher. And if one tries to read between the lines, then I believe it is anybody's guess. But I don't want to do that, which is why I said it is very, very unfortunate.
So while we are talking about the developments in Maldives, we cannot ignore the role of China. What kind of a role is China playing in Maldives, sir, and how will it damage India's relationship with the neighboring country?
Well, I think I would desist from taking the names of any country as such, but there are forces globally active who do not want India to have smooth, cordial, harmonious relations with its neighbors. And such elements are working overtime is a matter of common knowledge. And therefore, when India, which is not just geographically a bigger country, but also a country which is democratic, which is successful on several fronts, which has been helping all its neighboring countries or major neighboring countries in whichever way some kind of a help is required. The role that India played in helping Sri Lanka, our southern neighbor, or for that matter, any other country in our neighborhood, I think is something which everybody appreciates. And therefore, India's role is that of not just a brother, but not just a friend, but in fact, a brother of all the neighboring countries. And that approach has continued for several decades. And this might have perhaps disturbed certain elements that are active in global politics.
So, sir, do you think there is a deliberate attempt to damage India's neighborhood first policy that was started by Prime Minister, and the developments in Maldives is just one part of it?
See, there are certain countries that are wanting to have their own ambitious project being pursued. In every possible way, they are trying to, in a way, pressurize, in a way, convince countries to part with the resources and other things as well, and allow certain countries to make some headway, even get some access to certain areas. And all these things, many countries, including some countries in our neighborhood, do look at as some kind of an affront on the sovereignty of that country. And therefore, their designs are not going the way they might have planned, which is why there is a sense of disturbance. And perhaps their planning is going haywire, which is why they want to do anything that is possible to spoil the relationships of India with neighboring countries as it appears.
Sir, the Union government has spoken to the High Commissioner of Maldives, and action has also been taken against some of the lawmakers. Is it enough? Can we have business as usual with Maldives now?
Well, I think it is for the diplomats who are knowledgeable in the context of the current episode. It is for them to comment whether this is enough or this is not enough. My only humble submission would be, and that too as an Indian citizen, not as somebody who is on some position, that see, relationships are not just about financial help, infrastructural assistance, or bilateral visits, signing agreements, and all those things. They are important beyond doubt. Exchange programs are equally important. But relationships, whether between two persons, between two societies, communities, or between two nations, are certainly about emotions. And ruptured emotions take some time to heal more than a ruptured part of the body. And therefore, while everybody prays and hopes that our relationship with all the countries, not just one country, all the countries in our neighborhood definitely become more harmonious, and the process also moves not only fast but also without any obstacles. But then, as I said, emotional relations may take a little more time to repair, I'm afraid.
Sir, we have witnessed in the past few days that there were calls of boycott Maldives by some people on social media. How do you look at this emotional outburst of people, supporters of India?
Well, I don't want to comment on that because I would desist from saying anything on this. But it is for everybody to understand how people react, how people respond to a situation, and therefore how critical it is to behave in a very responsible manner.
So my last question to you is, Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently spoke about developing Lakshadweep as a tourist destination. While there is a policy side to the plan, Lakshadweep is also close to Kerala, where BJP has little or maybe negligible political presence. What are your views?
Well, I think Kerala is different, Lakshadweep is different. Let us not suggest that Kerala and Lakshadweep will have same kind of politics, same kind of responses to BJP. So the small island union territory already, I believe, has accepted BJP. And even in Kerala, BJP is certainly making some headways beyond doubt.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.